Hey, what's going on? Berkeley Moses here, Solid as a B-Ball podcast. Grateful to have AJ Cummings on from the UOIT, University of Oshawa Institute of Technology. He himself is from Ajax. I'm happy to have you on, AJ. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
So want to kind of get into your story. You maybe want to start with your last year of high school and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to the University of Oshawa.
Yeah, I ended up getting my last year of high school. Well, first of all, my name is AJ Cummings. First of all, I'm from Ajax, Ontario, and my last year of high school, it was a good year. You know, that's when all my offers started reeling in and all that. And the way I ended up going to UIT was that we went to the Humber Classic tournament, and that was kind of another exposure tournament ran by Northville Hoops. My high school team got invited to go there, and there's a lot of college scouts there, a lot of youth sports schools, and I remember seeing. I think we had played Oakwood, I believe, and Coach Francis was in the crowd. And then I walked up to go, hug up my mom, my sister, because they're at the game. And then he had pulled me aside, and he had saw the last name on the back of my jersey, and he had said Cummings. He's like, "Do you know Andy Cummings?" And then I told him, "Yeah, like Andy Cummings is my dad." And after he said, "Whoa, what a small world." He's like, "I've been recruiting you, da 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 da," and all that type of stuff. And then my dad ended up walking over, and then him and my dad hugged up each other. Like, I guess that was their first time seeing each other in so long. And then yeah, and then I ended up playing for the rest of my school year. Then um yeah, and then the rest was history. We just ended up going there, and then I went to France with him. That same grade 12 year in the month of April, I went to France with him, and then we played a couple games against some pro teams, and then I committed to Ontario Tech 2 years later.
Just to give a bit of background, did your dad play basketball before or know him through basketball?
Yeah, my dad played basketball before. He played basketball. Um, yeah, he played at the school called Brother Edmund Rice, and
Okay.
then they're from the same neighborhood, Oakwood, and Oakwood and Sinclair, Vaughan and Oakwood, that area. So they grew up there, and then they all played at the same gym, same rec center, and all that. So they've been knowing each other since high school times, and it's just been an everlasting relationship since then.
For those who haven't got a chance to see you play, how would you describe your skill set?
Um, I'm more of a scorer, shooter. You know what I mean? I like to shoot a lot. And if you stop my shot, I'm gonna pump fake, couple dribbles, mid range, or a floater. So it's just more of a calm game. I'm not gonna say I'm a flashy guy, flashy dribbler. You know what I mean? I just like to score, but I score the fundamental way, if that makes sense. But I could do the flashiness and all that type of stuff. But
Yeah.
playing in a system, you have to choose the fundamental way.
I'm thinking like a Tony Parker in my head.
Yeah, or a lot of people compare me to like kind of Buddy Healed, somewhat a Buddy Healed, like you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I get Buddy Healed a lot, and yeah, probably that. Yeah, Buddy Healed. I would say Buddy Healed.
Okay. When you
Or sorry, or Duncan Robinson. There you
Duncan
go. That's the
Robinson.
perfect
Okay.
one. Duncan Robinson. That's the perfect one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With your skill set, how did you find the competition in your first year? How do you find you adjusted to it personally?
It was pretty good. It was just a lot of the guys were a lot stronger than what I was used to. So just kind of going against grown men was kind of different than playing against guys my own age. Because now I'm playing against guys who are 7 years older than me, 8 years older than me. So they have that grown man strength. I'm only 19, right? So playing against those guys, it was an adjustment. But then I think throughout the year, probably my first 10 games, I started to get used to it. Or not even 10, probably first 5 to 7 games, I started to get used to the strength. And it was kind of getting a lot easier to score. So then therefore, if you search up my numbers, like you can see I had a lot of 20-point games, you know what I mean? A lot of games, 18 points, 17 points, you know what I mean? So it started to get a lot easier throughout the year.
Do you feel that with it being the first season at the University of Oshawa, you think you had a chance to lead that you would not have had it been a already established school?
Yeah, I personally believe I had a lot better chance of leading at UIT just because it's a new school, new guys, you know what I mean? I went in there And it's just a mindset kind of, you know what I mean? I just went in there and said, I'm not really gonna let anyone outwork me, you know what I mean? So I believe coach just saw that mentality and just put me and another my backcourt, Grady Cancu, and he put us at the backcourt, you know what I mean? So as in he made us lead the team and he would always tell us, the team's gonna go as far as you guys go. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if I had went somewhere else to a team that's already established and they already have their guys, I personally believe I wouldn't have got the same opportunity that I have right now at UOIT.
You think we had talked before, you're saying with the team, with a lot of rookies being on the team, that veteran experience, missing that veteran experience sometimes late in games. Would you say that you'd be seen now as one of the veterans on the team, as like one of the guys that's been there that first year, survived through the pandemic, and kind of once the third year comes back, would you see yourself as kind of one of the veterans on the team, even though you've already only played really 1 year?
Yeah, personally, yeah. I would believe that like I could be the veteran on the team. I know we have a couple of transfers coming in that have that veteran experience, but I think for the guy that's actually been on the team from the first year and seen how we would fold in games coming down to crunch time or like all that. So I personally believe that like the team or even the coaches are going to be looking towards me and my other teammates just to my other teammates that were there the first year or the veterans that are coming in that have been playing in the youth sports before me. You know what I mean? I personally believe coach is going to look towards us to when the game comes down to crunch time to calm the team, stay poised, you know? So yeah, I think I would consider myself not really a veteran just because I'm still a young boy to majority of these guys, but like more of like one of the leaders on the team, you know?
Okay. Do you have mentors or guys that have like played in youth sports, not necessarily with Oshawa, but even like other youth sports, like big brothers, quote unquote, around the league, like some other guards or guys that you talk to?
I wouldn't say I probably the one around the league. I would say Cadre, you know, because Peoples, he played on Peoples before too, before me. And, you know, me and him have a mutual friend that's like our big brother. It's both of our big brother, kind of.
Yeah.
So so I talked to Cadre, I have his number, you know, text him a 1-2. Also, I know not really in the youth sports, but I have Negus Webster Chan. I don't know if you would know who that is, but Negus, yeah, that's like my super big bro, you know, that's just big bro. He tells me everything, you know, just gives me advice about anything, not even just about basketball, just about life. You know what I mean? I would say Negus, Nick Lewis. There's a lot of guys, you know what I mean, that just give me advice. And those guys are playing pro right now. You know what I mean? So just me picking their brain, kind of just being like, yo, what's it like over there? I know Nick Lewis plays in he plays on Sheffield Sharks. That's down in England, right? And what's it called? Yeah, that's just down in England. So I know he plays there. Negus plays Saskatchewan Rattlers CEBL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So just a lot of these guys just picking their brain and just asking them, you know, like how it's like playing pro and all that type of stuff, you know? So yeah.
Do you yourself have aspirations to play professional one day?
Oh, 150 billion%. Yeah, that's the plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stay a couple more years at school, probably another year at school, and then explore some options to go play pro, you know, just to get the bag and it's not even just ever about the money, you know what I mean? Just about I'm confident in the work that I've put in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I know eventually I'll be ready to go down there. And I've already had experience playing against pro players. You know what I'm saying? So I personally believe if I stay another year, get my numbers up, develop more, and just go down there, and I think I can make a good career for myself.
Knowing with what you have in mind and with what type of goals that you have, would you say that there's anything like over the past 16 months throughout the pandemic that you would have done differently in terms of training or trying to put yourself in a better place right now?
I personally believe probably just at the beginning when the pandemic had just started last March, I personally think I should have went outside more. I think I was just too prone to being in a gym. I kept saying for the first month, I believe, when did the pandemic start? March 2020? I believe from March to April, I just kept saying, nah, like, I just need to find the gym. I need to find the gym. And I wasn't going outside. I was just dribbling, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I can't play outside. Like, I haven't played outside in years. Like, you know what I mean? But I personally believe that's one thing I kind of regret. Because, like, when I did get back into the gym, was kind of an adjustment, like, you know what I mean? Because we were out of the gym for like 4 months, I believe. I think we didn't get back into the gym till July of 2020. So like it was just kind of adjustment just to get back in the gym, get the feel back. You know what I mean? So I think that's one thing I would probably regret. But other than that, since then we just been in the gym, been working, jogging, like, you know, just keeping our body in shape, just staying in shape. And you know, this pandemic has it's gotten me bigger. It's been helpful for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're looking forward to getting back out there and showcasing that size.
100%.
We'll see you in the post a little bit.
Not really the
I was
post, not
messing
really
up
the
this
post,
week.
but yeah.
I mean, guards got to post up though, for real. You know what I mean? Like the strength, it won't. It's not for nothing, right? So
yeah, 100%, 100%.
From your experience in youth sports, what's been your favorite school to play against on the road?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would say my favorite team last year to play was Laurentian on that road,
Okay.
because that crowd was crazy.
Yeah.
That crowd was the craziest crowd. Laurentian, Carleton was pretty good. Carleton was more along the lines just packed. Windsor had a really good crowd too.
Yeah.
Because that football section, there's that one football section that sits behind our bench
Yeah.
that is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
They're crazy, you know? So I think, yeah, those three schools are my favorite schools to play at last year.
From a player standpoint, what do you think could be done with youth sports to give it more publicity on a wider scale level?
I personally like what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like what you're doing right now. I think this is just getting our names out there and like just giving us our exposure that I personally believe that we deserve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a lot of kids, like me and you were talking about earlier, a lot of kids say, "Yeah, screw Canada. I want to go. I want to go to the States." Like, you know what I'm saying? And all that type of stuff. Like, they don't really look at Canada as they kind of look at Canada as like the backbench. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I personally believe that some kids need to understand, some people need to understand that um down here is actually a very good place to play. As I was saying, like I personally believe it's benefited me a lot by staying here and just not being the man of my team, but being one of the guys on my team, getting my name out there. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like I'm going to away trips and kids are coming up to me saying, "Oh, Dad, it's number 5." Da, da, da. Like people know who I am. But personally, if I was to go to the States, people probably wouldn't know who the hell I am.
For
You know what
sure.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I think we just need the respect that we deserve because we put in the
Yeah.
same work that those guys are putting in down there.
Yeah. Like tell some of the players, like some of you guys make it easy, you know, for me, I know in the fourth youth round, like he works hard with the solid, like you guys
100%.
provide the good highlights and make it easy to cover. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
the biggest
Exactly.
drawback has been the fact that it hasn't been planned. That's
Yeah.
that's really it. You know what I mean? It's not been
Exactly.
the quality of basketball, right?
Yeah. 100%.
So as far as the University of Oshawa competing, what do you think needs to be done to make that next push to possibly get towards a playoff spot? Get a couple more wins towards the end of the season and put yourself in that position to speak about playoffs?
I personally believe just, you know, staying poised during the games, staying composed, not getting rattled, not listening to the crowd. You know what I mean? I personally believe just that. And like just us sticking together as a team on and off the court. And I believe we've done a really good job of doing that. All the coaches, to be honest, have done a really good job of keeping us poised and keeping us close together. So I know, trust me, when we go back next year, playoffs is definitely a word we're going to be talking about. We're going to be there next year, 150 billion%. I can promise you that.
So through the adversity, the first year, would you say Coach Francis did a good job of like keeping you guys together and keeping your heads on, because it can be tough when the wins aren't coming as you want them to stay focused, and you know, if you're not being talked about as much and all that other stuff, it can be kind of tough on you. How would you say your coach kind of held you guys together and held the fort down?
Coach did a really good job, to be honest, because you know he's been there before. Every coach has been there before. You know what I mean? Where you go in a losing spell. Like personally, there's a lot of us that were coming from winning organizations. Like I'm coming from People's. We win a lot. My school, my high school, we won a lot. So it was kind of just an adjustment. But you know, coach just kept us intact every time. Just saying, like, remember, you guys are young, you guys are rookies. A lot of these guys have been playing in this league for 4 or 5 years already. You know what I mean? So you want to beat them, but remember, their mind, they've been here. So when their first year happened, they were probably in the same shoes as you. You know what I'm saying? So coach just kept saying, don't worry, guys, the next one we're going to get, or, you know what I mean? Just keeping us confident. So every time we went into a game, we're like, yo, we can win this game. You know what I mean? Even if we lost after the game, yeah, we're all pissed. You know, no one talks to each other. But by the time we get back on the bus, we get back to the hotel, everything's good. You know what I mean? And we talk about what we can do the next game. Because, you know, majority of the games are back to back.
Yeah.
So talking about, what we're going to do tomorrow night. Put that loss behind us. We're going to focus on Saturday night's game. You know what I mean? And then when we get back, we have practice the next day after the Saturday night game. What we can do in practice to get better. You know what I mean? So I personally believe coach just he was never dwelling on one loss. You know what I mean? He just kept keeping us close-knit, just kept saying, you know, guys, it's all right, it's okay. And, you know, I feel like that's what made us get through the year and not even be like, people are like, yeah, screw this team, I'm going to leave. We kept losing. Like, no, everyone's like, we're going to come back next year. And they know next year, we're going to kick a lot of, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're going to beat a lot of people.
Yeah.
They're going to be nice. Like, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So we're ended on what type of advice would you have for kids? I guess we talked about even you with your school stuff, like going to schools to get a fresh start and going through adversity and going like, even with basketball and just life in general. Like what advice would you have for like younger players? I'd say particularly ones like from grade 8 going into grade 9 who are just getting to that high school and not really sure, like they know what they want to do, but how would you kind of guide those younger players? Like from your experience, what would you kind of relate to them?
I would really just tell them just to keep your head up, because you know what I mean? Just keep your head up and just don't think about what everyone else is doing. Think about what's the best opportunity for yourself. Like, you know what I mean? So don't see your friends going down to the States and be like, yeah, I want to follow little Johnny who's going to the States.
Yeah.
No, think about maybe if I stay here, I'm going to have a better opportunity to expose myself, because who knows? Little Johnny can go down to the States now, and by grade 11, he's trash. You know what I mean? Because he didn't get the same experience that he would have got if he was here.
Yeah.
So it's one of them ones, don't really listen to what people are going to tell you. People are going to call you trash. You're going to have haters. Just, you got to be confident in the work that you put in. Just keep working and just keep being you. You know what I'm saying? And just always think about your family, put God first, your family. You know what I mean? And just strongly, but I tell a lot of kids now, like strongly believe in prayer, because prayer works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And pray before your games, pray before 100%. You go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because prayer works. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's what I would give kids now, the advice I would give kids now.
That's good, man. I appreciate that. There's a couple light questions. Who's your favorite player in the league right now?
Steph Curry. It's never gonna change.
Yeah.
Who's
winning the chip this year?
Suns. I want the Suns to. I want CP to get his first chip.
So you got CP for Finals MVP or Booker?
I think they're gonna give it to Ayton. Yeah, I personally believe they're gonna give it to CP though, just because out of the respect, like it's the man's first time ever going to the finals. You know what I mean? And he's been waiting for this. Devin Booker and Ayton are most likely gonna get back to the finals throughout the career. CP probably has a good 3 years left in his career. You know what I mean? So I personally believe they'll give it to CP.
And then you think the Bucks are getting out in the East?
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna say because of Giannis. I'm gonna say because of Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton is the problem of that team. If Hawks don't do a good job of stopping him, they can't go nowhere. And plus, I think Trey's questionable for tonight too. So if they don't stop, if Trey's not playing, then Hawks stand no chance.
Yeah, it could be a problem. So you got Hawks, Suns, Bucks finals, and then Suns winning how many games?
They get the Bucks 5.
5.
Or if they don't do it in 4, they're doing it in 5. Bucks can't handle it. They can't handle them, boy. If Suns can beat Lakers in 6, if they can beat Lakers in 6, I promise you they are going to beat the Bucks in 5. Like the Suns, like I don't know what it is. They don't have a lot of talent on that team, but they play together. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Like I personally thought they were gonna get swept by the Lakers, even if AD was not playing. But it's just their energy, like right now their confidence is at a next level. They think no one can beat them. You know what I mean? Because Clippers last night are even lucky. Clippers are lucky last night. They should have lost, but you know, it is what it is. But Suns are gonna close it out next game too. You know, so
all right, we'll see. Thanks for coming on. If you stick around for a minute or two, I'm gonna drop it off here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. All right, later.